Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Women Are Worthy Network. I don't know. We're having again. It was another full moon, so we were. I was having a little bit of technical difficulties with the mic. So again, I'm your hostess with the mostest, Jacqueline Charles. If you want to join our tribe, you must subscribe. So y'all know I've been coming with the content. We had Dawn Lewis. We had Dawn Robinson from In Vogue. We had Leon from Leon. You know what I'm talking about? Come on now. I've been coming. And then we've been having our other celebrities, such as Miss Octavia Dunigan. Okay, we're going to introduce her in a minute, right? So we want to remind everyone, please, 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 in order to keep this channel going, please subscribe to the channel. If you want to join our tribe, again, please subscribe. Share with a friend. You know I have this sharing is caring moment, so share with a friend. So with that said, let me take a sip of water because this lady here, her resume will have you parched. And you're not gonna have me parched in my own show. Okay, when I'm talking about a woman and her resume, this melanin magnificent lady. Okay, so let me go because y'all gonna agree with this. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I am so honored to have Miss Octavia Dunigan on our show. Octavia is also known as the OC. Okay, and we're gonna talk about OC. She's also working and she's doing the work regarding hope dealing. She's a hope dealing social influencer. Let me repeat that because she tongue tied me for a minute. She is a hope dealing influencer, right? She's an ambitious wife and a mother of 8 children. I didn't stutter. She's the mother of 8 children, blended family and all. She's from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Miss Dunigan has the BS, right? We're talking about the degrees. Okay, we're talking about degree, okay? This woman, again, she has a BS degree in child studies and in 2015 from Post University and has a background in social services and the charter school system. Now, look, she has a blended family of 8. It would make sense that she would be doing this, right? And she would be an expert. So, the Women Are Worthy Network, we are so proud, we are so honored to have the one and only Miss Octavia Dunigan. Hello, Miss Octavia.
You just made me seem so fabulous. I'm loving it. Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction. It's a pleasure to be here with you, Miss Jackie.
You are fabulous, and reading things that you're doing because we love having fabulous women who are doing things that are positive things because we want people to see that you know it's not all glitz and glamour, right? There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of sacrifice we've gone through doing, walking in our purpose because a lot of people don't know what their purpose is, right? So, hello, Gloria. How are you? I'm telling you. Whew, I got to give Miss Gloria a shout out. Just give me a second, please, Miss Octavia. This woman, she means a lot to me because whenever I do something and she has a lot going on in her life, she takes the time to support, whether it's during the show, after the show. And I always want to kind of tell people how important it is that they support me and how grateful that I am because she could be anywhere else. We have all this stuff on social media. You should have a life, and she's always supporting me. So, Gloria, I want to thank you. Shout out, what's up? 6 Mile Club, love y'all. Thank you very much, Miss Gloria. So, Miss Octavia, we wanted you on the show because you are fabulous. So, tell us a little bit about OC Children, right? Because that's what OC is. OC is old children. Talk to us a little bit about your purpose and why you're doing it.
Sure. So, honestly, I've always had a passion to work and serve with the youth. I just always believe, Jackie, that the youth are our future. And so a lot of times I think we skip over kids because the kids, right? And I've always, even as a child, felt skipped over. And so my passion has always been to give back and to serve into the youth because I believe by empowering them, we are pretty much securing our future through them. I'm really big on legacy and through kids, I feel like we can build and establish and teach them legacies that can carry on and change generations to come. So Children's Club is literally a seed of personal development and tools that we instill into children to pretty much help clean these homes and schools now, but ultimately to prepare them for the future, for our future.
Can you do me a favor and speak a little louder? Because I
Sure.
think what's going on is you're okay. Okay, I'm trying to get you on Instagram. I mean, on LinkedIn, but I don't know what's going on LinkedIn. So we're gonna leave LinkedIn alone. Okay.
Okay,
So,
that's
um, the fact that you're doing that, tell us what's your most rewarding to date, because I'm sure you've had a lot. What is your most rewarding moment in what you're doing?
wow. There's been so many, as you mentioned, this entire journey is pretty much rewarding, to be honest. But I have to say, really coming to Georgia, my husband and I are newer to the state. We've been here about 2.5 years now, going on 3 years. And when we came here, we came right before the pandemic. And literally January of 2020, and by May or April, everything was shut down. So for me, I think the most rewarding part of this journey has been merging from being a physical building, because we were physical in Jacksonville, Florida. We had a storefront. After the pandemic, we decided to merge to virtual. And it was a risk because obviously connecting with children in general, especially after them being online in school for so long, it was a stretch, right? And so I think the most rewarding part was to come back in a new state, in a new dynamic, and just literally just taking off and reaching and connecting with many more families than we had the opportunity to do before. I would have to say, especially getting into the schools. Shout outs to Fulton County. They've been showing us a lot of love. We are partnered with two schools there currently. And just getting out and connecting in this new state has literally been a huge reward, I must say, so far.
So tell us a bit about Oh Children. Exactly, because we know you have the legacy company, that's the big
Yes.
company and everything falls on. What exactly is it? Because let's say there's a teacher watching,
Yes.
but she wants to know, like, what exactly does she do with the school system and with the kids?
Sure. So I'll break it down in two parts. A Children's Club itself is a virtual, I like to call it experience, where we teach kids, or interactive experience, where we're teaching kids personal development tools and life skills through games and activities online. It's interactive. We're meeting kids where they are. They're plugging in from phones, laptops, iPads, literally right after school. It's after school Monday through Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern. And it's a vibe. We use age appropriate breakout rooms, so kids are grouped by their ages, and we're literally breaking down specific personal development tools that we focus on monthly, on a weekly basis, if that makes sense. We have breakdowns as of Monday. Monday is the millionaire mindset, where we share financial tools, tips about resumes, tips about career savings. We introduce home ownership and stuff like that. On Tuesdays, we focus on self love tips, where we really dive into things in regards to self love, self care, because from the ages of 8 to 18, that's puberty. So we're really tapping into the age groups that are development or coming into full development. On Wednesdays, we focus on Wednesdays, and we highlight talents and gifts, and we're really helping these kids to identify their self purpose through their talents and their gifts. And then on Thursdays, we talk to me this, and we're diving into communication skills that really help the children to communicate now. They're using text messages and social media, and these kids are struggling with who likes me based off of likes and all types of stuff. And so we're diving in and have created a safe space on Thursdays for kids to share that. But each month we have a different personal development tool that we focus on. And in schools, when we enter into schools, we teach those same interactive games and lessons on a physical note. So we take that virtual experience and bring it to them live. And the schools have literally divided up groups. We have the academic reward program for the kids who are part of our club, and every quarter that they hit honor roll, which is A and B, we reward them with gift cards, a value of $25, just for being a support to grow or be excellent. And so, really, what our goal is to create an innovative way to teach these kids to be ready for life. Long story short,
Okay.
that's not in a school vibe.
Okay, let me tell you what. Okay, you might be my new friend. Okay,
Yeah.
let me tell you what I love about what you're doing, right? Because
Yes.
we're complaining, and I'll use the word complaining, that kids have lost their social skills, right?
Absolutely.
So now how are you communicating? Because now when you go back, you're virtual, but now when you go back, it's like, you're like, then you talk about, because what I focus on within my plethora of things is self-care, vegan cooking, relationships, things like that, right?
Yeah.
And I love it because for me, I mentor young girls, and it's easier to talk to them about self-care when they're younger
Right.
than when they're my age or older, because quote, don't take me literal, but you can't teach old dog new tricks, and
Right.
it's hard, right?
Right.
So I like that you're doing that, and it's so important that the schools, i.e. you, get involved with the number one thing, because they don't teach that in school. They teach you, schools teach you to become an employee. They don't teach you to become an employer, right?
Right.
So, and what I like about what you're doing is you're teaching these kids also financial literacy, financial literacy. Okay, I love that. And once they get that at a younger age, people don't understand, when you breathe life into kids and you point them in the right direction, it's great. It should not be, oh, that's not normal. You see a 9-year-old now, he's going to college, right? Or 11-year-old. That should be the norm if that's what they choose to do.
Right.
So I like that your curriculum and what you're doing and how you're pouring into the younger generation. Why did you decide to do something like this?
You know what's so crazy? The idea started off back in 2015 as a book. So, I went to college for child studies since I was 18. I became a mom at 17. I found out I was pregnant at 16, but became a mom at 17. But I've always just had this nurturing instinct. And it wasn't so much of an age thing. It's just anyone I connect with, I just become like a mama, if that makes sense. And so I just had this natural instinct. And I thought about writing a book, pretty much helping parents to like teach their kids life skills, if that makes sense. My goal as a young mother was to make sure my children would be greater than I was. Not just on like a general level, but like in all areas. I want my kids to have better credit than I did at their ages, and just be further along. That was my goal, and so I wanted to share those tips as to how I was raising my own children, and so I considered a book. And as I started writing the book, I was like, you know what? This needs to be like a experience, right? Like this needs to be something that like, building relationships and literally getting involved so that I can see the impact. I don't want to just like tell people and like good luck with it. I want to like be a part of like changing homes because we're helping these kids be great now. You know what I mean? And so with that being said, I had started, just coming up with the blueprint and how can I do this and how can I do that? What time will I do it and where and how? And, everything just, came together at that point. But it started off or was supposed to be a book. And I needed to make it an experience to be a part of it.
And I think this is experience that people need, especially the kids, because you're getting the parents involved, but more importantly, the kids are involved.
Right.
And when they get amongst each other, they may be very quiet, but when they get among each other, they're talking, they're exchanging informations, and you see their innermost secrets, things that, because we all know, like, we all have something that we're, when we are younger, like, "Man, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that."
Right.
What I see that you're doing is you're plugging in the holes, and
Yes.
you're making the, see, I get it, I got it.
Yes, you're on it. Yes.
You're making them feel, first of all, you're a human being, you are worthy, okay? And whatever deficiency, so to speak, that you have, we're here to assist you. We're not here to be your mom and your daddy.
Right.
We want to give you, like I say all the time, people are not looking for, real people are not looking for a handout. Real people are looking for a hand up.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
So I like that you're giving them the rope, and you're like, okay, this is what we have, this is what we're doing. So, question.
Yes.
President Biden is watching the show, and he says, "Oh, I like this young lady. I like what she's doing." Not me, you.
No,
I like what she's doing, and I want to give her $2 million to help with whatever. I'm just going to give it to her, and she can do whatever with it, with regarding her company. What would you do with the first million and then the second?
Wow, the first million, I would definitely take care of membership fees because our club has a membership fee. I would definitely take care of membership fees for as many families as I can for up to at least a year, to give families that experience. The second part to it would be I would get more in the community. So right now, we do on Saturdays, we have what's called Operation Community Love, in which we go out. We just partnered with Henry County Parks and Recreation. They gave us access to the 29 parks. And what we do is we go out to the parks and we literally just talk to families, let them know we exist, give out snacks, but we play those life skill games with them in the park, if that makes sense, with parents there. And so for me, what I will use that money for is for additional resources for that, because we do provide like light refreshments. My husband, he does cut hair. He's not like a barber, but he cuts hair. So, you know, at the beginning of the school year, we were giving out like free lineups to the kids in the park that would come out to the park where we're at and stuff like that. So I would literally use those funds to create more of a enhanced experience for the members, if that makes sense. We definitely want to take care of our members on a personal level. So if we can send our members tablets, you know, or upgraded tablets to where they can not just tune in here, but maybe they need tablet at home, right, or whatnot. If we can send resources to our members that are nationwide, we have kids plugging in all the way from Trinidad. We would definitely use the funds to give back to our families and our members, because, you know, a lot of our kids, if I could just share this, is a little off tag, but a lot of our kids are involved because they are lacking something, whether it's a lack of attention, or, you know, because mom and dad's too busy working, or it's a lack of identity, right? You know, they don't know where they fit in. They don't necessarily, you know, have a sport, or they're not into music, but they're lacking that sense of identity or purpose or supervision, right? A lot of kids after school, they don't, I mean, if you're old enough to not go to after school program, mom and daddy have you sitting at home watching TV. So a lot of the kids that are connected to us are connected because they're lacking something. And so we use the funds to pretty much assist, right? Because we can't solve everything, but we will assist in trying to fill in gaps to enhance the experience so that the kids are not operating out of lack, if that makes sense. If we can plug in, as you said, that's exactly what we would do. Oh, I think it went to mute. Let me see. Okay.
Octavia, what would you tell your 15-year-old self?
Stop worrying about what people think. My biggest setback for my career, my platform, everything was the concern of people. What if they don't come? What if they don't like it? What if they come and they don't like it? What if they talk when they leave? You know, what if it was so many what ifs? You know, what if I pitched this idea and it gets shut down? Or what if they, you know, it was just a lot of what ifs. And I would free myself of opinions, because what I learned is that the opinion actually never mattered. You know what I mean? Like, and I'll say this: people are entitled to opinions, right? And I had to learn that people don't have to like you. People don't have to accept it. People don't have to agree. It doesn't have to be to them, and that's okay. And so I would tell my younger self: don't spend time on trying to please or appease people. Spend more time on building and creating. That's exactly right.
And what I've learned as a business person is, you're right. Not I tell people I'm not everyone's cup of coffee, but then
Yes.
again, I don't drink coffee. I'm tea. I'm for the tea drinkers. Okay, I'm for the tea drinkers. So I don't give, and I think it's how I was raised. I never gave a rat's behind on what anyone thought about me, because I marched to my own beat. And we have to walk our purpose, and somehow it would be, we can't spend time thinking about what other people think, because remember, God gave you a vision.
Right.
And there's this saying that God told you the vision. If he wanted everyone else to know, he'd make it a conference call, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you have to walk your vision, because what I hear is you're walking in your purpose, and your purpose is affecting the younger adults. Because I wish we had something like that when I was growing up. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
I got involved in things that I shouldn't have, and by the grace of God, I'm here. I know it was God why I'm here. So
Right.
it's just because I slipped through the cracks. There was 8 of us, and I slipped through the cracks.
Okay.
So, you know, just to hear that. So where do you see your organization? We're talking about like master manifesting right now. Where do you see
Absolutely.
your organization, let's say 5 years from now?
Absolutely. Global. Right now, we're growing on a nationwide scale. Families are plugging in, like I said, from coast to coast, which is truly a blessing. It's been an amazing experience because from somebody like me who comes from like a small city, just a darker background, you don't expect to even dream as big as that. And if I could be honest, I haven't even learned the word of entrepreneur until I was 19. I didn't even know what an entrepreneur was. I didn't even know it was possible to be a business owner. I didn't know anything like that because of where I came from. And so 5 years from now, I totally see our company scaling up on a global side, if that makes sense, accommodating kids on a worldwide globe, and just really getting in and making a difference in homes nationwide. We have a nationwide problem with youth currently. I don't have to tell you that. I don't have to tell anyone listening to that because wherever state you live in now, I know there's a youth problem, whether it's in the school, in the street, in the neighborhood. These kids are off the wall, if I could be honest. And so I also see us being a part of that solution, right? Because everyone's talking about, oh, these kids are bringing guns and these kids are in gangs and these kids are doing this. I see us as part of a solution. My last point, and I'll throw it back to you. When it comes to children, they like to feel like they have a sense of control, if that makes sense, or they have a sense of power. And a lot of times, when they go to school, they're forced to go to school, right? You got to go to school. You go to church. A lot of times, you're forced to go to church, or whatever your religion is. You got to go to youth group, or you got to go. That's usually pressure. When it comes to counseling with children, 9 times out of 10 is for a reason. You're misbehaving, so you have to go to counseling, or something's wrong. We think something's wrong, so you got to go to. So with Old Children's Club, it's an entertainment vibe that connects with the kids to where they're hurt. It's about you. You're not forced. You're not in trouble to be here. You know what I mean? It's not class. You're not we're not dominating you. This is your vibe. And so I feel like by giving these kids a sense of identity in the next 5 years, I believe we will be a part of the solution that we're seeing in the streets right now.
Because as you said, you're making it an experience for them. So when you
Right.
make it that kind of a experience, it's more palatable for them to, okay, I'm liking this, because it's games. What you've done was, and this is why I tell people how to get how a parent is successful is not by telling your children no all the time. And sometimes you have to explain. Like, even with my husband, I would tell him, you act like you was never a kid, and parents forget that. You forget that because we've gone through the same things, and it's not like, oh, you think you trying to do, I did it too. Not just that, because sometimes it's like making them feel smaller, you know what I'm saying? But you have to relate to them and have this conscious conversations. When your daughter comes up to you and she says, well, I like this guy and I may want to kiss him, inside you may like, oh my God.
Yep.
But you have to have these, because look, I call these babies pandemic babies. They're born and they look like they're 90 years old. I see one born sucking with his thumb. He had his head up, and I'm like, no, there's no way. He's like a month old. These babies are so, it's like, so acceleration. That's what I'm finding with these kids now because of, and I don't know if it's me, and if you can care to elaborate. I think ever since the pandemic, YouTube, don't do this to me. Ever since the virus,
Yes.
what I've noticed is, since you were stuck in the house, the kids were like online. So everything's fast, everything's like disposable. If it's not 3 seconds, they don't want to, deal with it. And now we're and parents were responsible for that because they were putting the teachers to this, take care of my children. I'm working, because I had a lot of parents tell me, look, Jackie, I can't teach my child at home. After the teachers have done that, I want you to come and tutor. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And they're like, look, my child is horrible. They're bad. I said, I didn't tell your child was horrible, but I told you your child misbehaves. So now you're home all day and you see what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you want to bring them back, and now the world is opening up and they don't know how to navigate.
Absolutely.
Throwing the iPhones at them. And because children now, I'm not saying all, they're very disrespectful. They're so entitled. And parents are working so hard, because what parents are guilty of, they're giving children things that they didn't have.
That's
And
it
it's
right there.
almost, and it's rewarding them, but you're not holding them accountable, like clean your room and I'll give you this. Why am I giving you an iPhone at 15, 16, or even 12 years old?
Right.
iPhone's very expensive. Why am I doing that? And then when you talk, look, you can tell I'm venting about my issues.
No, you're right on.
You
Right
tell,
on.
because then you're like, well, if something happens in the school, well, what happens when we went to school? The same things that are happening now happened when we were in school. The only difference is social media picks it up really fast. Where back in the day, maybe it took a week or two to hear back to back, back to back. But there
Absolutely.
isn't anything new that's not under the sun that's happening now that didn't
Absolutely.
happen then. It's just that social media. Because I see these little, like for me right now, if I have an issue with my phone, I take it to my 6-year-old neighbor.
Right.
Okay, six. Yes, I'm not. I'm look. Ain't no shame in my game. Okay, anything wrong with my phone, they know how. I'm like, but you're 6, Miss Jackie. Do you know you don't have this? Because they used to call me Jackie. I said, no, my name is Miss Jackie.
Right.
Okay. Do you know you need to do this and do that? And I'm like, slow down, slow your roll, partner, slow your roll. So there, so technology. This is what they're like.
Right.
So, what life skills, basically what you're doing now, what do you wish you had in when you were growing up based on what you're doing now for the kids?
Sure. So, first and foremost, that safe space. A lot of kids don't have a safe space. Hopefully they have at least a contact, right? Like I tell the members all the time, if you have at least one person that you can at least vent to or get it, I call it get it off your chest to, that would be awesome. I think we neglect the fact that kids have stress too, right? Kids have problems too. And so we neglect that. And so they're carrying weight while we're carrying weight, right? Because we're adults and we have bills and we got to feed them. So we have our drama, they have their drama. And if there's no safe space, nobody's releasing. So one of the main things that I love that we provide is a safe space for kids. We are mandated reporters. I must say that. I have to put that out there. So anything that is, sensitive or whatnot, we do by law have to do that. However, we do provide a safe space. So after school, you come to the club and vent. Oh, my teacher got on my nerve today. I hate this homework, but we have that. What I also love about it is a safe space to network. These kids are communicating with everything and everybody, and a lot of times we don't know, especially the ones who have phones and are on social media. You don't know who they're talking to. Let's just be honest. We have 4 teenagers, almost 5 teenagers now, in our family. And so to monitor that and keep up with that is a lot of work. If I'm going to be transparent because I'm dealing with it, right? I'm a mom with teenagers. And so what I love about Old Children's Club is that these kids have the opportunity to network with kids nationwide, right? In their same age level or older or younger. And it's monitored, it's safe. We know who's there, we're watching, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that family thing. And my last part is family. A lot of kids don't feel like they belong. And that's why we see a lot of gang activity. That's why we see a lot of at-risk activity where they're acting up in classrooms because they're trying to get attention or trying to get accepted by their peers, right? That's why we see a lot of fights because you're trying to be cool, you're trying to be accepted. And so what I like about Old Children's Club is that we provide that family vibe that we see you, you mean something, you have a purpose, you have a talent. Let's build you up. You have that support. You don't have to front for us. You don't have to act out for us. We're here. We got you every day after school. So I just love the fact that we just have that I want to call it a net, right? A net on the net, if that makes sense. A net on the internet. We have that net to kind of catch the kids that not so much. They don't even just have to be behavioral. You'd be surprised how many children are depressed right now, right?
Mm.
You'd be surprised how many children are like suffering from social anxiety. Like, they're scared to talk to people, scared to meet. Like they're just scared. You'd be surprised the stress and drama that your kids literally have, right? So we have that space to kind of address it in a nonchalant way, but it's having an impact, right? We're addressing it in a way that makes you feel comfortable and not preach that and not like you're in school and not like mama's yelling at you, but we're working on it together. And that's what I love about it.
And when you said net, you're
Yeah.
right. It's not to catch them. It's almost like when a person's walking on a high wire, and
Right.
if they already know they should balance, but in the event they do, in the event that they swivel or even fall, because your program is basically, okay, we're here to hold you up, but in the event we miss you, we have a net created, so you have a plan A and a plan B for them. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, and I
Absolutely.
get that because, like I said, I mentor young girls, and listening to them tell their stories and things that they go through. You're right, because we often think it's just adults that are going through stress and anxiety and things like that. When these kids, that's why I try to have parents be careful what you say around your children. I'm not saying if you can't pay a bill, you can't say that to your child, because they need to know bill paying, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you vent and you say everything to your child, it's almost like in the Hispanic community, when I'm talking to the parents, I tell them it's very stressful to have your child translate.
Yeah.
Always translate, because half the time they're translating grown up conversation. Same
Yeah.
thing in the Asian community, but particularly in the Spanish community. You're telling, someone has to translate grown up conversations to you, and it's your child who's doing the translation. If you remove the child out of that stress, whether it's paperwork or being sent home or whatever, children don't need to know things like that. They need to still be children, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yes.
So I understand the stress where I've had one wanted to do self harm, and you thought everything was fine with her, but I just saw it in her eyes. She was not smiling in the eyes. I mean, she was a great faker. And I pulled her aside, and she said she just didn't want to be here anymore. And I'm like, thank God I didn't miss that day. Thank God I didn't miss the signs. So
Yes.
I want to give you your flowers, because anything, look, I've gone through my stuff, but God had brought me through it. And
Nice.
I just love when people commit themselves to children, because people, adults are quick to say, "Oh, these kids are crazy." Well, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because at least I'm gonna say, I can say it because I'm mentoring and I'm in the community.
Right.
So I
Right.
can't be responsible for all kids. I can be responsible for the ones that are in my,
Right.
right, in my
Right.
village, so to speak.
That's right. That's right.
But I think they need help, because right now, I'm going to be honest with you. I would never want to be a teenager in this day and age.
Oh,
Never.
I say it all the time.
Mm-mm,
I say
mm-mm.
I pray for my kids just because I'm like I'm so just the dating, just dating. You know what I mean? It's so dangerous. It's so different. It's terrible. And I hate to say it like that because it's not like I've lost hope or nothing like that. But I do recognize how deep we are in water with this next generation, if that makes sense. It's a lot of work to do.
It is, because the dating, that then you have to, because right now it's everything. Then you have the catfishing, and it's a lot. So you're dealing with social anxiety and how to come out by being yourself, your authentic self, so to speak. And then you have, and that's why I'm all about women supporting each other, because you have your own self hate within our own community. Forget about white women disrespecting black women, or hating on black women. We have our own that does enough to chop us down. You know what I'm saying?
That's
But
it.
see, in my circle, I ain't playing that. I learned to let things roll off. But
Yeah.
baby, because this mouth is not good, okay? So what I've learned to do is I don't have to show up, and my brother told me, you don't have to show up for every fight. So what I choose to do is I'll extract myself from certain situations, because I don't know how to handle things like that well. So
Yeah.
I'd rather just extract, and that's what I'm teaching my, the youngins, as I call them, that, sometimes you may want to be someplace, but if you know it's going to be an issue, it's
Right.
better you to extract yourself from the situation, because until women learn to love themselves, because usually when a woman or women are like that, it's because they have issues with themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So women need to, at the end of the day, we're supposed to be supporting each other, not doing the foolishness. And I'm seeing that with younger girls and things that I'm hearing, and I'm like, but you don't even know this person. Well, she thinks she's cute, or what's that about?
It's terrible. It's these young girls, and like I said, we have from 6 to 18, and it seems like our middle schoolers are like the ones that pretty much they they have the most hell, excuse my language, you know what I mean? But they have the most problems because I don't know if it's again the puberty. I don't know if you're in a space where you're trying to find your self purpose or your self identity, and so you're like comparing. Social media is a blessing, but it's also a curse because now we have these kids who are comparing themselves to Cardi B and I'm too fat, and we've always had these issues. If we can be honest, even when I was a kid where kids were, doing different things to lose weight and stuff like that. But it almost seems like with all of the influencers that it's a certain image that they have to attain. They have to have a certain amount of jewels, and they were willing to still kill, rob, sleep with anybody just to have a lifestyle to match. You know what I mean? And so to me, is we're in a serious time, Jackie. And the problem is we have adults that are dealing with the same things because they didn't get as healed when they were 12, 13, 14, 15. And so they're bringing all of that weight and those roots all the way to 35, 36, 40, 52. You know what I mean? And they're still spewing out all the stuff that they didn't deal with when they were supposed to have that dealt with during their development. So it's
those childhood trauma. And that's when I encounter women, because I guess because I was raised with men, I don't have issues like, because to be honest, I was raised by men, and seeing how women would react in certain situations, I dislike women. Right? Because I'm like, ooh, they're crazy. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
But then because of what I'm doing now, my purpose, I've embraced women. But you still see certain little things. And for me, sometimes I pity people who are like that, because at the end of the day, I'm just looking for peace, joy, and happiness. I don't have time for the other stuff. And my personality is not made to, okay. My personality is to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
So, because sometimes you got to check a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't want to, but sometimes they can push you. So what I've learned to do is, just do it with love, because, do it with love, because people don't realize how much trauma they walk around with, and they don't know, you know what I'm saying? Women, and that's one of the things I wish women would just go to therapy more. Because here's the thing that I've implemented, right? This is what I've implemented with my young ladies, and I do it. I'll meet a woman, or I'll see a woman in the street. Don't know her, or in the store, and I'll say, "Hey, your shoes are fly, or your hair is fly. You gorgeous, right?" But I have to be careful because of where I live. Wait a minute.
Okay, boo.
I am just giving a compliment. That is it. I'm not picking you up. I'm not picking you up. But because I've noticed that when I approach a woman, her shoulders are like looking at me like, when I said, "Ma'am," and it's like this. And after I give the compliment, the shoulders go down.
Like they were like,
like, okay, because like they ready for something, And it's sad to see that we're walking around with all this tense in our shoulders, because we assume automatically that someone's out there. So that's what I teach my babies, to go out, tell a person you don't know, at least come back tell me every day, send me an email, 3 women that you gave compliments to. Ask if you can take their picture, or, say something recorded on your phone that, yes, Miss Jackie, but something, because once you start doing that, you can look at a woman and say, "Hey, God dang, you gorgeous." Yeah. What do you do to your face? Can you not with the, I'm wearing lotion. I don't know what lotion I'm wearing. I got on perfume.
I can't stand that. I can't.
Those are gatekeepers. Those are what I call gatekeepers. Share it. Yeah. Look, I'm an open book, because I'm like, how did you do this? And because people will ask me, and I notice in our community it happens more and more, because I notice in other communities, I'll say, "Hey, your jeans look nice. Girl, I got it at Marshall. It was $3.99 and I had a discount." I'm like, okay, slow down. I ain't asked you all of that. But they're free with doing that. But in our community, I can't remember where I got that from. I mean, what's the big deal? You know what I'm saying? That's why we should be able to freely give compliments. But more importantly, other than freely give compliments, we have to freely know how to accept compliments. Okay? Because we're like, because look, You give me a compliment, I'm not going to say, oh no, girl. I'm going to say, thank you, girl. Because I know I'm fly. So thank you for acknowledging it.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. We should be able to accept it and not say, oh, your pants is nice. Girl, I had this for 6 years. I ain't asked you how long you had your pants. Just say thank you and shut up.
Yeah.
You know, keep it moving.
Yeah.
So these are the things that we have to learn with grace to accept and go to a woman and say, man, I saw that you lost a lot of weight. How'd you lose the weight? Or, man, you got married. You've been out here for 7 years. You finally hooked the man. What'd you do? It's almost like the Sierra prayer. Girl, how many people going to ask you about that damn prayer and you ain't going to tell nobody about that damn prayer?
She ain't saying nobody that prayer.
Girl, she had me heated. I'm like, these single women want to know because they look up to you. Or prayer. Was it Boaz? What prayer, girl? I think she may have finally said it, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not.
Share with, if you have something good, share it with people.
Yeah. You know, I think people feel like, I read a book, and I'm gonna email you the title because I'm not hiding it. I promise you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna email you. I'm gonna email you the title. I'm not hiding it. I promise you. As soon as we done, you get my email. But I read a book, and I'm currently reading. No, I'm not currently. I finished this book. I'm reading the book, and what it's talking about. I'm on a book journey. If that makes sense. I'm on a book journey. So forgive me. I'm sending you the email. But this last book that I read, one of the statements that stuck with me is that life begins to grow once you get out of competition and you step into creativity. And I think that people they don't see how creative that they can be, so they turn into competitive people, if that makes sense. We don't have to compete. If I could create and you could create, we both creative, what we competing for? You know what I mean? But I think what happens is people step into like competition and they feel as if you get some, then it puts me behind. But that's not the. You can shop where I shop. We both look good. It's not gonna take away from you. It's not gonna take away from you. Both of y'all look good. You know what I mean? So I've never been the type to hide. I always love to help. That's just in my blood. I get a thrill off of seeing people win, especially if I helped you. Like that just. So, you know what I mean? So for me, it's like I never really understood that language amongst our women. I'm gonna be honest, Jackie. I work with kids for a reason because I feel like me and adults, we good, but you know, I'm like you. It's too much, and life is supposed to be good. We have problems, right? We have issues, whatever, but we're supposed to have a good life. If we have Christ and we have our faith and we have a hope, like we're supposed to live that, right? Like that's supposed to be a good thing. So for me, kids kind of have that sense of life. I don't know if it's because they weren't tainted yet, if that makes sense. Our reality,
yes.
Just the imagination and the ability to dream and to have vision and all that. Like, I love that about kids. I touch and agree with the whole adult and woman situation. As far
For me, I'm not about competition. I'm about collaboration.
I love
right?
it. Yeah.
And if you win, I win. I don't have to be in the front row. I don't have to be in the front row as long as I'm in the building. I don't have to be, meaning what I mean be in the building, cheering you on. If you don't want me in the building for whatever, I'm gonna cheer you on the phone, text. I'm gonna do damn smoke signals if I have to.
Yeah.
Because when you win, I win. So why is there competition? Why? I never understood that. And see, again, coming from the north and moving to the south, child, that was a whole nother thing. But my thing is because, and people don't understand, northern women, Brooklyn women are very direct. We're gonna say what's on our mind, okay? I've learned to now to censor some of the things that I say, because some of the things that's on my mind, I can't say it. Okay, so I censor it, and this is who I am. And I found out a long time ago, my personality is similar to a guy's, where we could be working together Monday morning. How are you? So that's it. Where sometimes with women, how was your weekend? How's your husband? How's your wife? I don't get into all of that stuff. Now I'm finding my femininity by having the Women Are Worthy show. I'm tapping into my femininity by like, oh, how you doing? Because I'll just say, hey, or not even good morning, hey, and just keep it going. Like how I speak guys' language. I'm now learning to speak women's language. And it's so true. Guys are from Mars, women are from Venus. That is so true. right? So I'm learning and I'm asking people who's on this journey with me. I don't want to have to keep repeating this, or I shouldn't even have to say. Just once you get to know me, you'll see who I am, because I know I have a heart of gold. I know that,
Yeah.
but I don't have a problem cutting you. And I mean cutting you
You,
off, cutting you off.
you need a balance. Like let's just be real. Like you cannot just be walking around in glitter and gold or glitter and sprinkles. Like you can't. Because people will try you. Like right. So you can't just whatever. So I love the fact that you're stretching or I guess expanding into the girly side. But don't lose that. Don't lose that. Don't lose that because
Girl,
you girls is crazy.
girl, listen to me. This ain't going nowhere, okay? I'm just learning how to when to, because I call it the dragon. The dragon knows when to come out, okay? And when the dragon comes out, ain't no apology coming on after that, okay? Because I don't want you, okay? So it's just, again, for me, I just want the children just to live a great life, because we lived it. We played games. We had a good time. And I want adults to just be patient with the babies that we have out there. You know, but we have some babies now that are like Rosemary's babies. Let's be honest. Not every baby is cute. Okay?
I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. We need a lot of more. We need a lot of more. We need a lot more patience with the kids.
Yes.
But I think we need a lot more understanding too, right? That's just with anyone. Like we always, I think as a people, we categorize by the behavior or the how you say the result, as opposed to really stepping back. Like, wait, what caused this? You know, I use even myself before. You know, I really got into social services. I would judge like, why are they stealing and why are they, you know, why do you have to rob her to do this? And I watch a lot of forensic stuff like IDTV and stuff like that, crime solving. And so for me, I'm looking at it like, you know, these people are doing this, but from watching the shows and really like taking a step back, you start to understand like, wait, this person was going through something. You know, they didn't just steal or rob this person because they just hate people and blah. They trying to feed their family, like they're trying to pay the bill or they're trying, you know what I mean? So I think if we begin to be a little bit more, I'm not going to say accepting, but more understanding and taking a second to be like, okay, I understand why you wanted to do that or why you thought that was right, but it's wrong, you know? And then provide a solution. Because we just talk. Problem this is a problem. This is a problem. Ain't nobody doing nothing, you know? So I think if we provide more solutions from an understanding perspective, that'll be a lot better. That's
First of all, it's been an amazing conversation with you. We want to thank you for tuning in to the Women Are Worthy Network. We want to make sure that everyone's sharing the show, because we want people to expand their mind and to listen to this, wonderful, program, Oh Children, that's out there. You gotta be a part of this, because again, she's doing things in Henry County. It's a newly formed, company, the Old Children's Club, which is phenomenal. We have the one and only Miss Octavia Dunigan. So again, please, girl, when I tell you this conversation was so good, it got me tongue tied. We start talking about the women. Girl,
this is a good conversation.
That's gonna be another show that we're gonna have to do.
I love it.
Yes, we're definitely going to do it. Come back. So we want to thank everyone again for tuning into the Women Are Worthy Network. You can be anywhere on this social media platform, and you chose to watch our platform. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Share with a friend. And again, we want to thank you. I've had an amazing conversation. We want to thank everyone for tuning in. So, hey, make sure you subscribe, because you'll find out when our next show is. See ya.
See you guys.